Now start in hands and knees position. Get a good frame. Spread out through the feet and test this by lifting the knees up a little bit if you can, so that we're not putting too much on that bone right below the kneecap, which is usually where we feel any sensitivity. Now extend your right arm out in front of you, make a cup with the right hand, and then flip your wrist so the fingers face your right thigh in hands and knees. And then extend your left leg back like a plank pose. And then start to turn clockwise. So you're spinning around the ball of the left foot, opening up your right collarbone. Think you're stirring your pot. You're able to have this availability in the second floor, going around your right wrist easily because you're rooted and centered in your stability. And a stable person is very mobile in a way. Okay, look forward, inhale. And take your right arm back behind you, circle it up towards the ceiling, and reach your right arm underneath so that your right shoulder is kind of in front of your left knee. Take your left foot and step it behind your right hand. We'll start by bringing the left hand on top of your right hand. I want you to press up into the left hand with the right hand to try to bring your right shoulder even a little more to the left. Now, cross-reference left butt, right butt, left knee. See if you can center in your pelvis. And then turn from the center of the chest, looking up at the ceiling. Option here, stay here or bring your your right hand to your left heel and walk your left arm out in front and center of the mat. And think the heel of your left foot goes into your right hand to bring your lungs towards the front of your mat, and then turn from the center of your chest, fitting your chin into your left armpit. Wherever we are, we're going to stand up in this gate pose variation with opposite elbows. You're going to fold at your sits bones, moving your sits bones back, looking out in front of you. And then unfold, moving forward up and over yourself. Interlace your fingers, send the palms up. Bring your hands behind your head, let your head fall into your hands, elbows go up. And then fold again. Think there's like a little internal rotation in the tops of your thighs, making this fold a little more accessible. And then a slight outer rotation as you unfold. So your pelvic floor faces the ground below you and you're looking, seeing what's in front of you, what's above you. One more time, inhale, fold at your hips, and then take your interlaced hands out in front of you and bring them underneath your sternum. You're gonna kick your left leg back, swiping right, spinning the left heel down, look at your feet, make sure your tailbone's right in the center, and then uninterlace your left hand, lifting it up towards the ceiling. And turning the left palm to make a cup. Shift into the ball of the left foot so your lungs face the front of your mat. Take your left arm over your ear and turn from the center of your chest here. Breathing in, breathing out. Let your left shin find the ground. Take your left hand to the ground, your right hand to the ground. We'll set up for the other side. Reach your left arm forward. Flip your left wrist. And then bring your left hand to the ground with your fingers facing your left thigh. Reach your right leg back like a plank pose. And then start to circle counterclockwise, spinning around yourself in the direction against time. Going around your right foot. Even as we do this, can you slightly move your heart to the right, even as you're spinning to the left? Spin around yourself, spin around yourself. Next time you come around, pause. Reach your left arm up, find a twist. Bring your left arm underneath your right, letting your left shoulder reach to the ground, almost like it's in front of your right foot or in that line in front of the right foot. Step your right foot behind your left hand and then bring your right hand on top of your left. And see if you can kind of press your left hand up into your right hand to give you your turn. You might even let the hands lift. The arm's not going to lift, but the hands might lift a little bit. Stay here, cross-reference, left butt, right butt, left knee, so you're in your frame. Or take the variation by bringing your left hand to your right heel. and kind of put you more in your center, maybe. And then right arm over your head. Think hips 3 and 9. Spin around the center of your chest and fit your chin into your right armpit. Might even get a little foot cramp there. Now let's go ahead, come up and out of this, finding opposite elbows, putting ourselves in our frame. Fantastic. Now fold, inner rotation, sits bones go back, crown of the head is kind of meeting the forearms as the elbows fit the palms, and then unfold, slight outer rotation, interlace your hands, send the palms up. Take your hands behind your head, let your head fall into your hands, and then fold again. Moving your sits bones back, looking out and seeing what's out in front of you. Unfold, moving forward, up and over yourself. And then one more time, we'll fold. Breathe in, inner rotation in the thighs. Send your palms forward, keeping the interlacing. And then exhale, bring your palms with the interlacing underneath your sternum. Swipe left with the right foot. Gotta laugh at that a little these days. And then bring your tailbone right in the center of your feet and start to open up the shape, uninterlacing the hands, lifting the right arm up. Make the cup with your right arm and extend your right arm over your ear. Think your right foot is bringing your lungs towards the front of your mat, and then turn from the center of your chest. So hips at 3 and 9 puts us in the center of our chest, and then sets us up for optimal vision. Right knee is going to find the ground. Right hand is going to find the ground. All fours position. Do a little knee test here. And then we'll find our first downward facing dog. Let the first one maybe be a little shorter. So there's a little contact between the torso and the thighs. Breathe in here. Breathe out. Take a plank pose. And this might have you move your hands forward to find your right angles in your plank pose. Look out in front of you. Fold back into your downward facing dog. Think knees bend so there's contact between the torso and the thighs. And use that contact to take some of the effort out of your upper body. Rotate your armpits, open your collarbones, and lift through your seat. Now inhale, three-legged dog, right leg lifts. Exhale, bend the right knee without opening the hip. Inhale, lift up through the inner thigh of the right leg. And then exhale, I want you to externally rotate both legs slightly to open up the right hip. So your inner left knee stays moving forward, your left butt bone stays elevated, you're not sinking into the left side. Now, on your next inhale, straighten your right leg, quote unquote square the hips. Exhale, step the right foot on the inside of the right hand. Inhale, drop your left shin to the ground. Take your hands to 2 and 10 o'clock. And then take your right hand next to your left hand, so both hands are out at 10 o'clock. Now, move your left hip to the left so there's room to plug your right thigh back. Tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee off the ground, lift up through the center of your hamstring. And keep moving your left hip to the left so your right hip has room, your right thigh has room, and then you look out to the left a little more. See if you can even walk your hands out to the left without it feeling like a burden in your upper back. All 10 toes are going to turn to the left for a wide straddle forward fold. Organize yourself so your hands are right underneath your shoulders, and then we'll bend the left knee on the inhale. Shift slightly into your left heel to get a little more of a fold in the hip. Exhale, straighten your left leg. Feel like there's a slight outer rotation in your left thigh. Inhale, bend the right knee, moving your weight into your heel. So that action is a slight inner rotation. So as we lengthen the leg, find a slight outer rotation to keep your right inner knee right over the second toe. Inhale, bend the left knee. Exhale, lengthen the left leg. Inhale, bend the right knee, tense your fingertips, lift your right heel, and turn your right toes to the front of your mat. Turn your left toes slightly in. Find a warrior two pose. Take a moment and land there. Straighten your right leg, interlace your fingers, send the palms up to the ceiling, and rebend your right knee. Think your palms are going up. Everything is happening equally underneath you. Straighten your right leg. Think your inner thighs go towards each other and up through the crown of your head. And then exhale, bend the right knee. Keep going up through your interlaced hands. One more time, straighten your right leg, breathe in. Here we'll take that side bend to the left and start to twist from the center of the chest to the right. Think you're also bringing kind of the front of your left hip bone with you. Rebend the right knee. Yes, it is a Shanti warrior, but I only teach this with twists and counter twists so we don't dump into our side body. Now let your left arm go. Think you're still turning to the right from the center of your chest. Lift your right heel. Take your hands to the ground on either side of the right foot. Lift your left heel. And then find your downward facing dog here. Exhale, bend the knees. Paw through your hands, paw through your feet. Inhale, plank pose. Turn your plank into a tuck-toed upward facing dog. Lift up through the center of your hamstrings a little bit more, and then fold back into your downward facing dog. Do that again. Inhale, up dog, moving forward, up and over yourself. Try not to sink in your hips or knees. Keep them nice and lifted so there's a stabilization happening here. And then exhale, fold back into your down dog. One more time, inhale, up dog. This time, knees to the ground. Untuck your toes. Bring your seat towards your heels, hands to your heels, eyes to your knees for seed shape. Think you're like a real dot of potential, that same sort of place we're finding in the center of our chest at the beginning. And then from there, expand outward. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, move two directions at once. So seat lifts here. Hands find the ground. And then round your shoulders over your wrists like you're going into the shell of your body. Make a splash in your tuck-toed up dog, tucking the toes, lifting up through the heels and hamstrings, and then reaching back through your heels and tailbone so your pubic bone moves forward up and over yourself, or moves you forward up and over yourself. Downward facing dog, exhale. All right, left leg lifts, inhale. Put a little bend in the right knee as you lift up through your left inner thigh. And then bend your left knee, exhale. Think you're gonna lift up through the inner left thigh. Open up both hips in a way, right? We're not really absolutely turning out the right leg, but think you're turning out the top of the thigh as you turn the left thigh out, so it works as a boundary. On your next inhale, lengthen your left leg, lifting through the inner thigh. Exhale, bring your left foot to the inside of your left hand. Drop the right shin to the ground, hands at 2 and 10 o'clock, open up your windows. Take your left hand out to the right and move your right hip here to the right a little bit so there's room to plug your left thigh back. Tuck your right toes under, lift up through your right knee. Think this is like the up dog we just did. Lift up through the hamstring and the heel, then reach back through the heel. Steer your tailbone towards the center back of your mat to plug your left thigh in, and then you look out to the right a little bit more. Stay light on the fingers and hands, even if the palms are on the ground, and see if you can walk yourself out to the right just a little bit more. All 10 toes turn to the right, wide straddle. Hands underneath your shoulders, ankles right underneath your knees. Now bend your right knee, shifting your weight a little bit into the heel for the clarity of the fold. Breathe in. And then exhale, think there's a slight outer rotation, even in both thigh bones, just to neutralize the shape. Inhale, bend the left knee. So there's a fold at your hip joint. Move your lungs forward. Exhale, lengthen your left leg. Inhale, bend your right knee. Exhale, lengthen your right leg. Inhale, bend the left knee, maybe 10th of fingers. Exhale, lift the left heel and turn your left toes to face the front of your mat. Turn your right heel a little bit back. Come up for your warrior two on whatever breath whatever part of the breath you're on. Take a moment, settle in the shape. And then inhale, straighten your left leg, interlace your palms, interlace your fingers, and send the palms up towards the ceiling. Keep your crown on as you rebend your left knee, going up through the center of your palms. Lengthen your left leg. Think your inner thighs go up through the crown of your head. Stay there in a way at the crown of your head as you rebend your knee so that there's an up to your down. One more time, straighten your left leg, side bend to the right, twist from the center of the chest to the left, and then rebend the left knee as you drop your right arm. And as you side bend to the right, think there's a little turn to the left that keeps the right side body spacious, even as we bend towards it. Lift your left heel, take your hands to the ground, lift your right heel, find your downward facing dog. Plank pose into your tuck-toed upward dog. Knees to the ground, seat to the heels, hands to the heels, eyes to the knees, seed shape. From here, expand outward. Get big, get radiant. Exhale. Feel the inward pull as you reach forward. And then inhale from the inside out, round forward and make a splash. Find your tuck-toed up dog, downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg lifts, inhale. Bend the knee and open up the hip, exhale. Inhale, re-elongate through the leg. Exhale, right knee into your chest. Look forward, shoulders over the wrist. Relax your jaw. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right knee towards your right arm. Again, try to relax your jaw here. Exhale, right leg up. Exhale, right knee towards your left arm. This time, cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh for a figure 4 in down dog. Rotate the armpits. Anchor through the pads of your knuckles. Put a little bend in the knee, left knee, and lift up through your seat. Breathe in, lift your left heel. Breathe out, step your right foot on the inside of the right hand. Inhale, drop your left knee, hands to 2 and 10. Exhale, right hand goes next to the left hand, out to 10 o'clock. Externally rotate your right thigh at the top of the thigh bone. Lower your left palm to the ground, right underneath the shoulder. Reach your right arm to the left, and then from the center of the chest, open up and twist to the right. Now tuck your left toes under here. Lift your left knee, your left heel, your left hamstring, maybe even lift the right heel. And go ahead and open the right arm to its own side so it feels like you're crossing your hemisphere. Go up through your left hamstring, out through your left hip, lunge out to the right with your right hand, and you look out to the left. All 10 toes turn to the left for wide straddle. Same thing. Bend the left knee, breathe in. We'll just do this once. Lengthen the right leg, breathe out. Bend your right knee, inhale. Tense your fingers, lift the right heel. Pivot on the ball of the foot to turn the toes out. Turn your left heel back. Surfs up, warrior 2. Straighten your right leg, inhale. Interlace your palms, send the palms up. Exhale, side bend to the left. And turn to the right from the center of the chest. Peaceful warrior. You might keep the hands interlaced. You might drop your left arm. We'll all drop the left arm now. You're going to start to straighten your right leg. Put your left hand on your left hip crease where the thigh bone meets the pelvis, and reach your right arm forward as you lengthen your left leg. Feel like your left hip is pressing into your hand, but there's an internal rotation in your left thigh that gives you room to plug your right thigh back. Take your right hand to the ground, a shin or your block, and then start to twist towards the ceiling from the center of the shape. So triangles of forward fold, a back bend, and a twist. Breathe in, shift into the left foot, bring your lungs towards the front of the mat. Breathe out, turn from the center of your chest, look up at the ceiling, make a cup with your left hand, and bring your left arm over, letting your chin fill up the cup of your left armpit. Take your hands to the ground, find a low lunge, bending the right knee. Reach your hands to your blocks, perch pose. Left knee meets the right knee, draw your left heel into your seat. Start to sit back here a little bit, so torso and thighs make contact. From there, extend your left leg back behind you, flexing the foot. Now, think inner thighs go in, center your tailbone. Actually, outer thighs go out to center the tailbone. Then inner thighs go in to bring your pubis forward. Reach back through your left foot a little bit more. See if by extending through your left leg, you can find that muscular engagement right underneath your left butt bone from the form. The form makes the muscle action. Now start to circle your left leg to the left and bring your left foot to the ground about hips distance apart from your right. Put 2 fists between the arches of your feet and interlace your hands behind your head. Roll up to stand. Breathe in. Now, stay here, stick your butt out, a little bend in the knees. So it's like a standing cow pose. And then lengthen your legs, move your thighs and pelvis forward so your pelvic floor is right underneath the center of your feet. And look forward, up and over yourself, or move forward, up and over yourself. Now bend the knees and stick your butt out here and start to move towards your fold. So it turns into a skier's pose variation. Extend your arms back behind you, interlace your fingers. Elbows can be a little bent here. Start to move your knuckles towards the right side of your mat and twist to the left. Keep contact between the torso and the thighs. Notice if your right knee is buckling in. Cross reference, left butt, right knee, right butt, left knee. Use that to center the frame of the hips, and then lunge, in a way, lunge your lungs forward and turn from the center of the chest. Left hand is gonna go to your sacrum, right hand's gonna go to the block that is on the right side. Rotate your right armpit, put your butt bones on an imaginary wall behind you, and then lift your left arm up. Make a cup with the left arm, bring it all the way around you like we just did in triangle, and then fit your left elbow on top of your right. Find your ankles, let your head go. Shift your weight forward, shift your weight back. Let your heels find your hands. Go back to the inner seams of the feet and let the head descend right over where your arms are crossing. Then uncross your arms. Step your left leg back. Inhale. Left knee to the ground. Interlace your fingers. Bring your arms by your ears. Lift your right heel. Move forward, up and over yourself. See if you can find that little muscular engagement there to really unfold from your hip joint. Torso to thighs, hands to the ground, downward facing dog. Plank pose into your tuck-toed upward dog. Breathe in. Knees to the ground, exhale. Return to your seat shape, breathe out. Hands to heels, eyes to knees. And then sit up, breathe in, lift your arms up. Move 2 directions at once, breathing out. Be a wave in the ocean, finding your up dog, inhale. And then make your way back to land, downward dog, exhale. Left leg lifts, inhale. Bend the knee, open up the hips, exhale. Extend the left leg, breathe in. Left knee to the center of your chest, breathe out. Left leg high on the breath in. Make sure you're relaxing your jaw here. Left knee to the left arm, exhale. Left leg high on the breath in, 3-legged. Left knee towards your right arm, exhale. Cross your left ankle on top of your right thigh for a figure 4 in your downward facing dog. Cross reference, left butt, right knee, right butt, left knee. And then inhale, lift the right heel. Exhale, step the left foot on the inside of the left hand. Drop the right shin to the ground. Take your hands to 2 and 10 o'clock. I'm going to be careful with this mic. Now take both hands to the right and turn your left toes out, rotating at the top of the thigh bone. Lower your right palm and take your left arm, reach it to the right. Keep lifting your right hip. Turn from the center of your chest. So you're in your frame here. And tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee. Lift up through the center of the hamstring. Keep looking out to the right, out to the right, out to the right. And turn from the center of the chest. Open your left arm up like you're crossing your hemisphere. Lift your left heel. Keep lifting up through your right hamstrings. Breathe in. Look over to the right, left arm over your ear again. All 10 toes turn to the right. I was really feeling that. Hands underneath your shoulders. Bend your right knee, inhale. Straighten your right leg, exhale. Bend your left knee, inhale. Tense your fingers, lift your left heel. Pivot on the ball of the left foot, turn your left toes out, turn your right toes in, and find your warrior 2. Straighten your left leg, interlace your fingers, put your crown on. Take a side bend to the right and already turn it into a twist to the left. Rebend your left knee. And then let your right arm drop when you're ready. Bring your right hand to your right hip joint where the pelvis and thigh bone meet. And start to make your way to triangle. Think it's really initiating from your right leg, from the contact of the right hip and the right hand. So there's room to plug your left thigh back, room for the fold. Left hand to the ground, shin or a block. And we'll start unfolding. So think you shift into the right foot to move your lungs towards the front of the mat. That's the unfold, that's the back bend. And you're right in the center to turn from the center of your chest. Breathe in, breathe out. Take your right arm over your ear, make a cup with the hand. Turn from the center of the chest, reach all the way around you. And then both hands to the ground. Bend your left knee. Reach your hands to the blocks. Find your perch pose. And right away, really reach with your hands and your lungs. Squeeze the heel into your seat. Look forward. And start to extend your right leg back, keeping your left knee bent. Think outer hips out, center your tailbone, inner thighs in, center your pubic bone, move your pubis, your navel, your sternum forward. Keep reaching back through your right heel. And then start to circle your right leg to the right. Lowering the foot to the ground, inner hips distance between your feet. Interlace your hands. So put two fists between the arches. Like said that, like without any instruction. Okay, hands behind the head. Roll up to stand. Find your standing cow pose, cat pose, cow pose, cow pose, yes. Forever confused. Seat back, lungs forward. Then unfold at the hip joint, like right where your hands were in triangle. Moving forward, up and over yourself. And then start to fold again at the hip joint. So we perceive our hips to be our pelvis. If you tell someone to put their hands on their hips, they put their hands on their pelvis. I mean, it's just what we do. But your hips are a little bit lower. All right, bring your arms back behind you. Interlace your fingers, switch the interlacing on top, and then send the knuckles a little to the left, start to twist to the right, sit back a little bit more. So there's a little bit more contact between torso and thigh. Right hand on sacrum, left hand reaches all the way to the block on the right. Notice if your left knee is buckling in, cross-reference butt bone and knee, and turn from the center of the chest. Bring your lungs forward. Lift your right arm up. Take your right arm over your ear. Keep turning from the center of the chest. Cross at your elbows and bring your hands to your ankles. Fold inward. Shift your weight forward. Shift your weight back. And uncross your arms. Lunge your right leg back. Drop your right knee. Lift your left heel. Arms by your ears. Move forward, up, and over yourself. And then seat lifts to bring your torso to your thighs. Hands to the ground. Downward facing dog. Plank pose into your tuck-toed up dog. Knees to the ground. Seat to the heels, hands to the heels and eyes to the knees for seat shape.